It's lunchtime in my area, but I decided to come here and sit and take a few minutes. That's why the name of the title is called Conversation Time and everything. Friends, I just want you to know that I truly appreciate you. Blessings and power unto everyone that will come on this live and that will choose to come back later on to support your friend. I really do appreciate you. I already understand it's a glare going on, but if I can do something about that glare, I truly will. So bear along with me, as, just today at this particular moment and everything is all about where I'm sitting at. But I just want my friends to know that the conversation time, I'm open for individuals that have something to say. That this is the channel to where but I talk about God, I talk about the power of prayer, and put information in the comments, as you know that I would try my best to read over it and things and to push through it and to basically just talk about the thoughts upon whatever that you may jot in the comment. But I just want to say, continue to stay prayed up for some individuals that have went through the year of this year, which is 2024. It's just brand new for everybody. It's brand new for me. But even by it's been a brand new year, the main thing that I do know what I would have to continue to do is continue to stay, prayed up, looking forward to staying prayed up. I woke up this morning, they got a little what you call with activities that I had to do, but not too much, but I was prepared and things. But I'm just encouraging individuals because I'm back now coming, doing my lives, and I just feel like that I am a vessel that God wants to use just in the place of encouragement. And what it does, it helps myself out. So it's not just for my friends as I come along. Truly, it helps me out too. So moving right along, if you just entered in or if you're going back to tell some more friends to come on in, you know how y'all do it. Y'all go tell some friends and tell some more friends that Gigi have came live if you decide to go and do that. But I will continue to talk even if it's no one in the room, if it's just one person standing, I just continue to talk and I leave the videos up so individuals can come back and view it as well. But the thing about constantly staying in prayer and staying prayed up, um, just just from my thoughts, and just let me just say this much. And the reason why for this particular year, all years of all of our life, we have to stay prayed up. But this particular year will be a particular season of faith being tried, your motivation to be discouraged. But I just want you to understand that you got to stay motivated, stay equipped in that particular, format of how you're living your life. Reposition yourself if you possibly have to reposition yourself. If you got goals, dreams. Some individuals is returning back to journaling. Some individuals believe that if they jot things down, they may call it a vision board, but in a positive way, to just note and put things in a vision to say what they're trying to accomplish. I don't see anything wrong with that because, without a vision, where do the hope come from? So I do believe in, keeping hope alive along with the vision and putting action behind it. So if you have any actions behind that vision, that's a very positive thing. But with no action behind the vision, if you don't write the vision down, like in the book of Habakkuk said, write that vision down. How you gonna know and how you going to fulfill that vision if you don't keep it in front of you? I believe in keeping visions in front of me, and that vision when it's in front of you and everything. And these are just my thoughts, friend. From my own life experience. When I have visions in front of me, like I believe in the power of prayer. The power of prayer, that vision that I have in front of me, meaning that it makes no difference what may go on or what may try to happen or occur. Only thing I know is that the strength that I pull on is God. The strength that I pull on is God. Let me say that again. The strength that I pull on is God. And the reason why that I vision and I utilize that, because don't you know that there are things that can happen in anyone's life, period. And if you don't have a vision of your strength, and if you allow anything to come into your life to pull on that particular strength, that that you are, an individual that doesn't fall short of strength. But a lot of times things can hit in life, period, where about, you can feel a little bit kind of different. So that's why I would encourage individuals, just continue to press forward and keep pushing. You know, as I shared in my own typing yesterday, I didn't want to come back and do a video, but as I shared yesterday when I got off the video, and when the young ladies that do walk and the other young lady, and they are what I can say seasoned in age, up in age. I want to say much older than me, just let me say that much. And, you know, being in a marriage for years and things and sharing a marriage, you know, the young lady, she was able to see her husband, you know, go through some things and such as hospice and things. And she was able to be, you know, with him. But she said that's carried on for 2 long years. But the thing of it's carrying on, and, you know, blessings to individuals that is caretaking, doing anything that is a help to individuals that is in a need and in that position. But the strength that she gave me, what I want to elaborate on in this conversation, is that when I looked at her, like I said, it didn't look like anything that she was going through because of the strength that was coming through her, you know, because she was out walking. She had her dog. Matter of fact, her husband had brought her dog as a companionship and everything. And the thing that I got from her was, you know, what I'm supposed to do. Do I supposed to lay in the bed, and do I supposed to lay around the house and carry the load of depression? She said, I'm supposed to push forward. And I said, and that's the right idea. And I told her, I said, you have strength. And she asked her other friend, you know, because the wind was blowing and we were standing there. She said, what did she say? I said, you have strength. You know, and a friend told her, and meaning that at such a time as this, to have strength and to talk about, you know, your movement has to stay in movement, and knowing that you just lost someone, you know, that you shared life with, that was strength enough to know that if she could speak and if she can say it at such a time of her grieving point, just doing my ordinary movement, and didn't even know I was going to walk right into that and things. And then she blessed it, the other, you know, ladies that was around and everything, and everybody agreed that she did have strength. So the message just from that, and I'm just conversating, is that, you know, you never know what individuals are going through because they don't share it. That's their choice. And it should be their choice. Individuals should have a comfort space of, you know, just being allowed to go through their life how they want to go through it and what they pick and choose to share. I'm in agreement with that. But the one thing that I found that, like I always say, you never know what individuals are going through. That's why if you're going to be in this particular journey with your light, you know, definitely not with darkness, but with your light, you know, you never know who's watching you. And I always say this, and how you may show up in the individual life just by being in the present of them, because you never even know what your present meant to them at that particular time. It can be, you know, in passing. It can be with individuals you know. You never know what your presence mean to an individual at that time. So sometimes when individuals are not talking, that's because they don't necessarily saying that they don't want to share. It's because they're going through what they need to go through for their strength. And when individuals come out on that other end of that strength, these are my thoughts. I truly believe then whoever they need to pour into, they become what you call united with, you know, the pouring into when they was not speaking to pour into somebody else. So it's like they are now, you know, have the ability to bless somebody else with what they went through. Just like individuals who have been blessed to overcome certain things in their particular life, period, in general. And they have had their own testimonies to speak about their particular challenges and their times and how they had to trust God and how they had to lean into God. These are, you know, the mouths and things that I like to hear from individuals in my just ordinary life, because it blesses me to stay current in my prayer life, to know that there are still individuals that trust God and believe God. And I truly believe that God is amazing. God can do anything. I truly believe that the energy that we all feel, and yes, God is that energy source that we're about. He connect us up to the things that we need in our life, the areas of the direction that we need to be directed in. I feel like that God applies what he need to apply as we're making the effort to do what we need to do on our end. He even put individuals, around us, in our place in life, to continue to uplift us and to pray for us. And on that note, I want to say for my friends, I'm taking and extending it out more, as God is saying to me, just to pray for individuals as you meet them as in the past and as they ask for you to, because it was one point in time in my life, it was too much heaviness and weightness that I was covering myself praying. But God is saying, now I am relieving you to pray for others, because I have now given you that strength to pray and to intercede, not to carry the weight, because that's work and inwardly that an individual have to do, but to keep individuals encouraged to know that, that you are what you call an individual that carries your own strength once you tap into it, and once you basically take everything by force, meaning with your life. You are claiming your joy, you are claiming your victory, you're living in it. Don't you know that God loves you right where you're at? There is nothing too hard for the Lord. If you just continue to believe and, continue to ask God to put friends in your life that is on the journey, that have that power ignited in them to pray as well, because it's powerful when you have those praying individuals that are in your life and that is aligned to your journey, and understand and respects that power of praying. Once again, you are going to be who God chose you to be, but it's just what you call just extraness of knowing that, okay, I got friends that understand that power of prayer, and we know how to put aside, the differences in the journey, and we know how to uplift one another. That's a beautiful thing. And in this particular year, you will begin to see more individuals that will be returning back to prayer like never before. You will begin to see individuals that is coming out of the woodworks, putting down the things that necessarily that may have been a hindrance in their life. Now they will no longer allow it to be a hindrance, because friends, you got a great testimony to share. It's not about me as I come here. I just come here to encourage and talk about this life journey with the power of prayer. But you have so much encouragement in you. You have your life journey to worry about. You can truly pour into somebody else. You can truly uplift them. You have a journey that I have never experienced, and even if I did, is nothing like your comparison of what you went through and now what you need to share to pour back into others, and how you retained your faith, or how you almost lost your faith, and how you doubted. Possibly you could be on a journey to where about, God restored everything that you felt like that was taken away from you, but God did the restoring for you. And you watch God do it by putting actions with it. All the visions that you had and everything that you prayed for, you just constantly believe even when things weren't even going on your behalf. You was constantly believing. You was constantly, just going forward, doing and being your ordinary self. But you had more encouragement to press more into God and just believe. That meant that you just said, I surrender all. And when you get in that position to surrender all, that means that anything that you are going to achieve, it is already in position for things to happen. You have to walk it, you have to believe it, you have to speak it. You have to feel every fiber in your body lining up the right way. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. You have to just believe and embrace what you are speaking and what you are talking, because as you believe it, those things now is attaching now to what necessarily you want to happen. Your subconscious mind is listening even as I'm speaking right now. Subconscious mind is everything because once again, that's where about space in your particular temple and in your body. That's where about everything that you want to come forth consciously, it can. But if your subconscious mind have not been blessed by your own mouth, and now when you're connected with individuals that is attracting to you, that is praying, but they may not know what you're praying for. That's why I truly believe when two or three is gathered together. See, the first individual that is going to be included in your particular life, that makes the second. But God is everything, so he's just the source and he's the supplier. He's what you call that spirit that you cannot see, that is already granted to all of us. No one is what you call not granted it. You have an open vessel to receive it or to reject it. But if you receive what you call that mindset, that conscious mindset, not to connect it to that subconscious mindset, to where about you don't even understand how it operates, but then that's where about God come in and give that spirit of discernment. And then you begin to load yourself daily with those benefits. Because see, consciously, I can walk around here all day just with the things I see. And I can just only see that. I don't see nothing else because I have not expanded my subconscious mind to go farther, to grasp the things of all of my blessings and where they come from. I know on the surface I can say where they come from because of what I was taught, but now deeper believing goes subconsciously. See, the more you open up subconscious wise to believe, the better off things will be, and for not just your journey, but for others' journeys. And that's what make the world what you call in a better perspective to where about now we can understand our purpose. We can understand why things have to be in unity and harmony in order to make things flow how they need to flow. Oh, yes, I believe in that power of prayer. And I believe subconsciously that if we begin to equip and if we begin to pour into our mindset, consciously we're saying it, but now we got to attach. And what is it attaching to? Okay, you read that word, that's good. But you can read the word and still get up dry and not even have even believed what that word said as you pulled in the scripture for your faith, for the things that will keep you grounded. And what's going to keep you grounded is knowing that anytime and any moment that those things just come up from out of you that's positive and that will affect your life completely different. That's why I say, oh God, I thank you. I thank you for everything that you are doing, especially for, my friends that have a testimony, because I'm not the only one that's living and that God is granting life and granting it more abundantly that have a conversation to go on like this. Mm-mm. You are a friend as well that got what you call, once again, your own testimony, whether or not you choose to share it or not. But it can definitely affect an individual to somehow think differently and begin to possibly move them in the direction to do nothing but try. Try God for yourself. Don't try him because I'm saying try him. Try God for yourself and see how things can change and work out. I need my water and I left it on a particular table. I don't want to get up, but if I have to, I will. But try God for your particular self. That's the most greatest thing that any human being can do is trying God for yourself and trusting God. Because when you trust God, that's favor within itself. You hear the saying say favor upon favor or blessings upon blessings. What do that mean? I say blessings and power unto you because you are blessed and you have the power. And the only way that you understand that you got the power, you got to activate it. You got to put them visions into activations. And then you got to use that power of prayer. And then you got to constantly keep that thing, what you call just completely oiled down with your own soul and spirit being connected with God. Because it makes no difference what you see with your natural eyes. It's spiritually what you know that is being operating and going on. And if you get one of them good friends that understand about that power of prayer and the journey that they're already on as well, and the things that have happened in their life and the things that God is now allowing them to live, some probably that done got 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 different chances to do some different things creatively, healing wise, that God have allowed them to overcome. And God still got them on the face of the earthly realm to share. And some are what you call, I call them smooth operators. They just living and they're existing. But baby, when you call them up, guess what? They on that speed dial because they already know I know my purpose. They done already been in positions and worked for individuals and gained the things that they need to do. They say the only thing I got left now is to be a vessel and do nothing but pray. And to usher in those individuals, that particular energy that they're trying to cross through and to get pushed through in prayer. Oh God, I thank you. How many believe in that power of prayer? How many believe that God can do anything? How many believe that prayer don't cost anything no other than your soul to surrender? Prayer is not what you call monetary, but monetary can come from out of prayer in order what? To create the things that you desire to have in life. Oh God, I thank you. Now that was just new revelation there, meaning in a different way, meaning that it costs nothing. Prayer does. It really doesn't. It just costs, a little bit of your time and some patience. Yes, my friends say he can do all but fail. Yes. That's why I want my friends to know and your own private time when you get time. Have your own moments with God. I've been saying this for years. You choose the time and the place. If you got a prayer closet room, or some people call a war room that they have turned into a prayer closet, and that war room, you just sit or you just kneel or you lay down or however you get down, you journal. You talk to the Lord. God talk and pull back into you. He give you insights. He give you visions. He give you things to pray for. And that's your place to whereby that it's waiting for you. Whatever that you may make your place, it don't have to be fancy. It don't have to be none of that. Go to God as you are. And just trust God and believe God. Because see, just as you have made that place your place to sit and to talk to God, that's where that you can find that comfort at. Because that's the place that you say, I know that I can go here. Because guess what? Just how we can decorate our house or we can renew some things, that we got excitement to do on a project. But especially the things that, we're excited to do this in a particular room. What about getting excited now by saying, God, make a place for you to whereby I know that I can truly hear from you. You can hear from God anywhere. You can be in your car, like I said, you can be walking wherever. You can be in the shower. But I mean the special place now that, God is requiring of some of my friends to say, go make that place to whereby you can sit and have that quiet time. Even if you got a chair that you sit in and you know that it is so worthy to sit in, because everything that you need to know, it comes as you sit. It comes as you write. It comes as you just pour your heart out into God. Oh, God is so good. God is so good. So I encourage my friends that continue to have your own relationship in this particular season, in this particular new year. The only thing that I got to say that I am being what you call just so honored to still have life in me. And I say it like that. It's an honor. It's an honor that God still got me living. Oh, God, I thank you. It's an honor to know that God is still pouring out blessings. That's an honor for me to know that, oh, God, the small, simple things that used to run through my body and used to probably sometimes get frustrated and didn't know how to deal with things. I thank God for patience. I thank God for patience. Hold up one moment. I'm hearing somebody. I thank God for patience. Patient is something that for some individuals, it may not come as easy because the cares of the world and everything else that may tick and talk and, may just get you on the edge. Patient is something that is not to be as what you call overlooked. It's something to tell God thank you for. Because when you got patience will learn to allow you to sit quiet and to not say nothing. Oh God, I thank you. I thank you for that growth level in that area. Can some of my friends be thankful for patience, for a mindset, as well as, now I believe in that power to forgive? What about forgiving? What about thanking God to know how he had to teach you how to forgive? That part. Do you know I had a journey to learn to how to forgive? I said it from my mouth, but I had a journey how God taught me the right way how to forgive. He didn't teach me it to just say, now I want you to just keep it all just shut up within you. He taught me how to forgive properly. One, he taught me how to understand my emotions, how I'm supposed to freely to allow my emotions to express itself, but not to express itself to whereby it will cause any harm to anyone or take anything from anyone. Okay? So God is a God to worry about in all areas of our life. He will teach us these things. And to forgive someone, you have to be what you call understanding who your temperament is and why it won't allow you to forgive. You have to now understand and look deep within inside you and to say, why will I hold a thing within me and what do it benefit me? Because if it's benefiting me anything, then teach me. But see, how can you present this to God and you want God to spew out to you and talk to you and say that this is right? Because from my understanding, God said, if you can't forgive an individual, how can God forgive you? See, that was some territory there. It made my whole, what you call, ground to shake. And when I say shake, meaning, my whole understanding just was like, oh, so if I'm walking around here not even understand how to forgive, then God, you teach me. How do I forgive? You forgive by looking at it's not the spirit, what you seeing that person is truly is. It's what's in them. It's what got them tied and hooked up, or it's what's in you. So you can't be angry or upset or walking around because it's different things that you seeing that you don't like. This is the world we live in. It comes with likes and it comes with dislikes. And it comes with strongly dislike. But if you can persevere and if you can equip yourself to understand your purpose, because everybody is different. But spiritually wise, we are all designed now to be creative and to accomplish something in that particular area. It's not just carnally we came here. Spiritually, we came here to be vessels as well. We came here to help one another. We came here to really to embrace our territory of our profoundness of why we're here. And now the purpose of being here, what are we going to do? What are we going to leave as we, begin now to do the work? And if you haven't begun to do the work and everything, as you're embracing doing the work, you'll understand that my purpose is more driven more than just carnally. I'm both. I'm carnal and I'm spiritual. So that's why the two fight against one another. That's why you can be separate as a whole, but what God is trying to do is make that spirit to come as one. And when the spirit become as one, then you able to look and you able to see what is warned against that spirit side of you. It's the spirit that dwells in you, which is God. See, we looking for God on the outside, and really God is living within you if you understand that process. That's why I said yesterday, and I'm going to say it again. You don't have to put your trust in somebody that's saying what God told them. I don't even want you to put your trust in me because, first of all, I'm not God. I'm just a vessel now that God is testing and pruning, but my direction where God got me at right now, I know that I can't be sitting up here saying things, that does not what you call make sense and that does not elevate what you call the mindset to do the positive things that they need to do for their journey. I'm not that vessel. Now, have I participated in things when I didn't know no better? Absolutely. And possibly when I knew better. But see, that's the edge of the ego. When you understand what ego does, ego can go in and ego can have you trapped for years. For years to where about you think you living, but you living off of ego. Your cup is being filled. You walk around with ego. See, that's where that snap pop attitude comes in at, to where about everything you got to pop back on because this person said that and that person said that. But see, what humbleness does, it presents patience to say, read the spirit now. And reading the spirit is meaning that you reading the spirit that is coming or being presented to you. Okay? And when you read the Spirit, where about that patience and where about the value come in at, because now you understand what that Spirit come to take from you. See, my God, I thank you. A door, if it's open, if you don't understand what doors are open in your carnal life, how you going to close them spiritually? You can't. It's work that all of us have to do and get in tune to. But only God can teach you those things. God just used leaders just to basically to keep the encouragement going on and to keep the direction between light and darkness. Nothing else. Because God is number one. He don't use leaders to what you call now, I want you to become their God. Leaders are there really to set an example and to be a different and to keep that encouragement being pushed and the light of God and the forefront. Anything else that is being done to manipulate and to transform and to say that you got to do this, you got to do that for your blessings, I'm not down with that. And I personally don't agree with that. Because I have been what you call surrendering to God and say, God, I need you to tell me this truth on this. Blessings comes when you are automatically what you call being that giver and you know how to be a blesser. Don't you know some people are born blessers? The word about you don't have to teach them how to give because it's already in them. They're not stingy, is what I'm saying, in their giving. They're not stingy. They were already blessed with knowing how to bless. So you don't have to call me and say, I need you to bless me with this amount in order for your blessings flow. I was born this way. But for individuals who don't understand how blessings flow, they may need a teaching on why it benefits to give and to help. They may need that foundations. But individuals that was born with it, it ain't a whole lot that you can, basically what you call pour into them in that area, no other than words of keeping them united and keeping prayers over them so that they can move in a direction so that they don't get used in their blessings. Because people that give and people that are big blessers and everything, sometimes individuals try to intentionally use them because they know they pot and their pockets is heavy and they know that they know how to be great blessers. Oh, come through, Holy Ghost, and speak. But see, when you are what you call not understanding how blessings work, for example, if you were born in this life and if you experience struggle in an area whereby in this life and you never experience what you call abundance in your life, then that teaching to properly educate that subconscious mind to know that, listen, God, you ain't just blessed me abundance and now for me not to be a blessing to somebody else. There are individuals now to guide you the right way, not to spend it all, but to know how to be a blessing to whereby your cup's still full, but now that's whereby we shouldn't have needy people or homeless people that is out there because it's too much bestowed upon all of us. God got people going to work. He got people that's with their business. He got people that is retired and that is doing more in abundance. He just got individuals everywhere now to help the widows, to help those that's in need. And that is in the position that can give. But when you don't understand, when God have poured into you, when you just only experience this on the earthly realm, you tap into a large amount of money. Or you start making overflow of money. And then you start getting cocky with it as if you never had it and you probably never did have it. That's when you need now mentors and teachers in your life to teach you how to operate on that level. So that now that, amen, friend, you said a cheerful giver, absolutely a cheerful giver. And then now you'll know how the foundation you're laying out and you're laying down, because blessings will continue to follow you. And it don't necessarily have to be monetarily. Money is already here, believe it or not. It's already here. Anything you want is already here. We just have to activate it. Activated. That's why I say for those that is turning back to journaling or getting to, you believe in your vision board because you believe that, if you visualize something, as long as you got praying and you put God forward. I believe that God is the visionary. He just used me now to activate what I want to envision. But God got it all. If it ain't for me, it's not for me. And guess what? I haven't lost anything because it's not for me. But whatever is for me, if I activate what's for me, it shall come to me. Oh God, I thank you. Oh God, I thank you. I thank you. Friends, I just want to say I thank each and every individual that have came along to be so supportive. I see some of the chat saying, thank you, friends. My friend said, teach us, Lord, fill us, Father, with your heart and mind, walking in the spirit. Yes, and that's the key, walking in the spirit, because remember, we have the carnal and we have the spiritual. But the two war against one another. And the reason why it war against one another, because ego always says that I'm greater than the spirit of the man. And when ego is nothing more than flesh and blood, but the spirit of the man, you can live with it in the earthly realm and even when you exit out. Oh, what a beautiful thing. Let me say it again. You can live with the spirit of man in the earthly realm and as well as you exit out. Anybody that ever had someone to pass on, as they say, go on to glory, go on to the next realm of their life. Well, if they didn't get control of what you call that ego with the spirit of the man, to combine it, and then inwardly things begin to take place. It began to what you call lay a different foundation for your life. Then you have accomplished what part of your purpose that you have came here for in this earthly realm. It's not all about just careers. Career can be here today and gone tomorrow. Money can be here today and gone tomorrow. But it's the spirit was in an individual to where about now it comes to calm the ego down, but it comes now to blesses you all at the same time. It's called having a balance. And when you can have a balance and when them two understand the balance, then you don't no longer war with it. Of course you're still human because you still got blood running in you. You fleshly. So are you still going to, do the things that you love doing? Absolutely. You are. You still living, you still got breath in you. But it's when you understand that it's a greater spirit in me that allows me to have breath in me. And that allows me to say, oh God, I thank you. That allows me to get excited. That allows me to express myself. See, the spirit is always warring with the flesh. Because once the flesh get up under control, now the spirit have a balance now to activate and go out and do greater things into this earthly realm. Oh God, I thank you. It's so powerful to understand who God is for your life. It's so powerful to have those quiet times in order for God to speak to you. It's even more powerful to have your own spirit of discernment so that you don't get trapped, what I'm trying to say, in the chaos of life. Oh, those things have a way of coming at you, but you're not trapped in it. You know how to move around. When I say move around, meaning that you know how to move around. You are understanding now your journey and the purpose. Remember, Gigi said, prayer don't cost no money. It really doesn't. It doesn't. It just takes for you to activate your voice in order to make things to come alive according to the Lord's will. The best thing that I can say that God allowed me to do on my journey is not only just to surrender all, but the more and more he just told me, he said, trust, trust, trust. And I'm sitting up here in my prayer room, in my little chair, I'll say, and sitting up here saying, Lord, you say trust, but look at everything that's in front of me. He said, that's the problem. You looking at what's going on, but you're not trusting. What a mouth drop and an ear awakening. And I'm like, whoa. Okay, God. You waiting for somebody to come and do something magical when I am everything. See, when you believe that God is everything, then your everything will become trust. If you put your trust now in somebody else that is not God, or if you make somebody else God for your life, it's funny how, and I shouldn't say funny because this is very serious, how, we build these relationships. And then when someone do wrong in a relationship, we so upset with them as if they couldn't have made no wrong. Or we so, what you call them, put all our love into this particular individual that whereby we feel like, oh, but I love you. But that's the point. You love that individual like a God, and God don't want you to love no one that much. If you love God, in the way that you need to love God, even in a relationship, he'll give you that balance. He'll give you that balance. Oh God, I thank you. I don't even want to talk about relationships today because that's something that I have talked about in the past, but relationships to me is what you call a beautiful thing when it's brought together by God. This can be a sensitive topic for some because I may have individuals that is dealing with married men that is in the live. But this is not something to say, oh, I just want to, make you feel bad. But it also, I look at it as self-worth. If you don't have enough knowing of who you are, then you will fall for the low-grade seed. But when you realize who you are, your value, your self-worth, you wouldn't want to be connected to something that is already connected up to another spirit and then it's bringing more spirits that it's connected up with. Meaning they got the energy from the connection of that wife that it have not what you call broken off from. And then now to be intimately entwined with them, you got their energy going in you as well. So that energy that's going in you and you feeling the emotions and all of, oh, I feel so good. And I just feel like it's God. And I just feel like, oh, he make me feel so good. That's flesh, that's ego. Your ego have what you call have overcame you and fleshly till you haven't had your spirit now to be satisfied with the answer that God got for your life. Women, don't get caught up with the low seed because you got so much value. The low seed is in anything that has already got business to basically to undo. And if it's trying to get something undone, how do you want to get caught up with that? That's generational baggage that now you're accepting yourself and you're being open to. When that's really not the direction of your path, but it can be if you, what you call, partake in it and you accept it. How many individuals have been delivered from that spirit? I'll wait. How many individuals that may possibly have some friends that's engaged in that particular area? And you know that they're beautiful, you know that they're bright, but for whatever reason, the confident level of knowing who they are choosing that particular low seed because they feel like this is the best that I can do. And granted now, and I'm using as example, ego and spirit, one thing about God, God will let you do whatever you want to do on this earthly realm. Because it's all about choices. But granted now, in the process of doing whatever you want to do, it's consequences. It's consequences. And along with them consequences, just because you don't see them the first year, the second year, the third year, keep living. They know how to creep out. And then when they show up, you be like, well, God, dog, what is going on? A friend said, that was me. Thank you for the true confession. God, thank you for the healing and for the deliverance and for the power. And then you look at things, it says, can you speak on the sanctified spouse sanctifies the other? This basically where I'm at. I'm going now. I'm going now. This really what the conversation is about, is that when we value our temple and everything, God won't allow us, but let me go back and say, it's a difference when neither party have God in their life. But then when that party finds God, if that one person finds God, you're going to be able to see the things in the image of your mate that you didn't see before you got with them. Because don't you know, one person can get what you call that light in them, the Christ in them, and then the other person still may not have accepted it how you accepted it. So what do you do in a relationship like that? I am not the one to tell nobody you need to leave your spouse. I am not going to do that, okay? At all. Because that's not my business to tell you, but I'm here to basically to add some light to say this is where the battle come in at. Because once your light is turned on, until that mate, but you as being that praying wife, if you're a praying wife or a praying husband, but I'm going to just say as me, I'm coming from just being that woman who God made me. By me being a praying wife, then your praying can sanctify your husband. And it can do that if you're willing to stand in the gap for him. But if he have created what you call things in that particular marriage that now you no longer want to be connected with him because he may have committed what you call that sin of adultery. It could be the mental aspect of abusement. All of these things that make you not have that comfort. You does not feel safe and things. It could push you and lead you from out of your marriage. But you still have to seek God and right counselors. But that light is different. Because when you in sin, you in sin. Y'all both was in sin, so y'all got married and didn't even know what you was doing. Y'all was on that flesh ego method. You was on the method of make me feel good, and this is the escalation that I feel. I'm feeling good now. Because neither was in the light. But then when one light come on in the individual, or when it's good when both individuals become awakened, because now there's power in the house of that family. Because now you can pray together and you can allow now Christ to come in and to speak truth. Because what Christ's going to do, he going to allow you to be forgiven in areas that you knew you committed that was wrong. We talking about a real light relationship. I'm not talking about those relationships who choose to say that, listen, I like to be in a threesome, or I like to have another person in my bedroom. This ain't the relationship that I'm saying or what I'm talking about. That's a totally different relationship that I don't take a part in. So I won't be the best advisor to talk about it. But I can talk about a relationship when the individuals who saying, can you speak on sanctified spouses sanctifies the other? Can that other spouse sanctify that spouse? It has to be that person's will to come into Christ. You can't do nothing but pray for them. The thing about it, you have to be willing now to stand your ground to say that I'm going to be a praying wife as that praying spouse that prays for my husband. So what it does, it grants you to pray, and everything else that come with it, you got to remember the words that you ask God to make you that praying spouse. But see, because you can't change your husband, only God can. And if his will is not in the will of God to be changed, then you got to be willing now to say, I still pray and intercede until death do us part. If that's how you choose to go, it ain't for everybody. In other words, as they say, it ain't for the weak. For those individuals who understand that, listen, I ain't strong in this area to carry that load. And that's okay. Because guess what? God created us all differently to carry certain burdens in the earthly realm. Certain things another person, what you can do, that other person may can't do it. What I can do, you may not can do it. But when it comes to your spouse, you have the opportunity to pray and intercede for them if you see the hope in that particular relationship that have not brought sin to the current marriage. Oh God, I thank you. Oh God, I thank you. Because see, what that current marriage does, if sin is brought into it, say you renew vows. That's a lot of reason why some people possibly may renew vows, because they want a new start, a new beginning. Because things may have been poured into it the wrong way. But even the renewing of the vows, that particular individual have to be willing to do the work. You can't do the work for no spouse. That spouse have to do the work for themselves. And if they don't do the work, then they leave the burden on the spouse that is doing the sanctification for the marriage. And then it becomes too overburdened to where about now that spouse may feel like, am I the only one praying? But remember, you signed up and you said that you were going to stand in the gap. If that was your request, that's why we have to be careful what we release out of our mouth when it becomes over our relationship, because you never know what you can stand. You never know what you can go through. One household may stand because they overcame it by praying and interceding, and by fasting, and by listening and hearing what the voice of the Lord got to speak to them. Another household that may have been hit, what you call with that particular sin of adultery, the sin of abusement, may say, I'm out of here, I'm done. Period. And then another relationship whereby a husband is allowed to go and cheat, and they can still be married for 30 and 40 years, but knowing everybody's relationship is different. And I'm not here to sit up here and tell an individual, you need to go and isolate he or she. That's your business. Because that's where now your prayer closet, your personal time, and your war room come to, what do the Lord speak unto you? What God got to say? Because the only thing a counselor can do is give you the tools to work with if you choose to have a counselor to give you that therapy and solutions in your marriage. But they can't do that work for you. They can point out the things of what you tell them, possibly what they have seen or see from what you're speaking unto them. And that's whereby you have to be truthful from all areas, from the good and the bad. You got to be truthful enough to just be honest to say whether or not you are faithful or whether or not you was unfaithful. These are sensitive topics to worry about. Who goes into counseling completely being honest? Very few. Because it may destroy the home, and by it destroying it with that fear, that's the thing. When you release the fear, God can't do nothing but build it back up when that sanctification is there in both individuals, when the light is on in the both, because then you can sit down and talk about what happened. But if that light is not on in the individual, that means those ways that was once done is subject to happen again, because guess what? That ego is still operating in the individuals. You'll see the slickness in them. You'll see that they still up to the same thing. You'll see that their character ain't changed. You'll see that everything that you see and that you know, that's in that individual. That's why when it comes to people marriages, you already know what time it is. You already understand about your mate better than me. Even before you even go to that counseling room, let's talk about defiling the marriage before it even become a marriage, but you married that person that was already married or that was coming from out of a marriage. You already knew what you was getting into. You accepted the lies. So the lies that came with it, they were a liar entering in. So how are you going to correct a liar when you don't have power to do that? Only God can do that. You can't do that. If you was down with their lies, then you got to do the correction with you to admit that I was down with some of this dirty work, that I kind of enhanced, a whole lot, not just a little bit, but a whole lot. So that's work. The both have to do. So when you get into a relationship the wrong way, you have to now have God to sanctify. But that comes with work. Because from my understanding, a zebra never turns its stripes. It's hard to change when a person is not in the light. That's why I talk about the power of prayer, because when you are a vessel and when your temple is what you call surrender to God, if you're not married, if you're single, your whole what you call relationship should be submitted to God for just the sake of the knowing, God, can I marry this individual? Is it okay with you? Do I have your permission? Not just your father or your mother or the living ones that's around you, God. Do I have your permission? Speak to me. But you got to be sanctified enough with the light on. Because sanctification is nothing but light to me. Let's clear that word of sanctification and holy. That means you done did the work. It's just like you fasting or just like you doing something different. You say, okay, I'll never do this again or I'll never do that again. Sanctification comes with saying that these are the things that I won't let attach to me again. So here's the thing. When you know that you have did the work within you inwardly, how are you going to let a other person come and sabotage all the work that you done did inwardly? That shows now, your confidence. Because no one should be able to take your power away from you of all the work that you done did. It's constantly a challenge already to do the things that, that any of us need to be doing the right way. It's a challenge. So now you done did all this inner work. And now for anyone to try to come in and to disturb your path that you know that you lay heavily in doing this inner work. How do it blend? To choose wrong now for yourself. Less known to not to have God all up in your business. God, be all up in my business. All up in my business. But once again, everybody's relationship is different. Completely different. Completely different. Yes, he's the sanctifier. We submit to his will. Yes, that's right. We submit to God's will. And to say that, if you need more God in your relationship, put God more in it. I would never tell nobody, oh, you just pack up and leave. First of all, get the counseling. Do what you need to do. If you have tried, and you know you have tried, and you still trying, but you know you heavily got God in it, that's all you can do. Just don't go out here thinking that you're single and now you can put somebody in your life, although you still married. Are you about to get a divorce? Don't go do that. Don't go do that. Because that's a setup. You got too much greatness in you to be thinking on that level. That I just want somebody else's man. You don't even know what's in him. You don't even know what he got to go through. You don't even know the generation of the bloodline less known. Because people can be around you, but they can fake it too. And they can be smiling in your face and you cannot even know all the energy you got to deal with. You cannot even understand what you setting yourself up for. So that's why it's so important to love you first. To love you first. Because if you got enough love for you, then guess what? Then you're going to put you first. And then family and everything else going to fall in place. Automatically, God is first. But what I'm saying, you're going to serve you first. In the morning when you get up, you self-taking care of yourself. You're doing all the things you need to do for self. Because you're pouring into yourself spiritually. But it does not mean it won't be challenges. God loves families. Anyway, that's why the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And he works heavily upon families. The ego definitely don't like family, which is that adversary that works against us or work outwardly possibly through someone else. But it's God that loves families. God loves unity, not just in families, but world unity God love. But the reason why that world unity, we don't actually see it often. Christmas time. Christmas time is not about the celebration of presents. It's about the celebration of that unity and that love and that peace that we are preparing to, but we'll miss it spiritually. Because if we're not in tune with what God is saying, the energy is flowing. It's flowing. Everybody want to say, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, even with the smile on their face. Even while they're shopping. They smiling and saying Merry Christmas because they got extra money to spend. Or they got the money now to buy a gift because they wait on this year. But in reality, you should feel like this all the time. Christmas. Being a blessing, not just on that day, but throughout the year. The beginning of this year, being a blessing to individuals that God may just put upon your heart and say, go bless somebody. Merry Christmas. That month of February coming in, whereby they got the Valentine's Day. The only time you're going to love your mate is for Valentine's or somebody. That love should be flowing, through the whole year and knowing how to give. Like I say, some people are born as blessers. So it should be flowing at all times. It just shouldn't drop because now Christmas is over with and now it's a new year and now I'm just totally concentrated on the new year. All of these things put visions in place and dreams in place. It put love in place. It put unity in place. Everybody don't celebrate the holidays and I get it because to me it's all centered around money, period. Whenever it's a holiday, if you ever notice, individuals, listen, they got a sale going on. They got something going on to hype you up. This is the best time to get this, the best time to get that. But I don't see a whole lot of emphasis in what you call, can we now be in harmony? Can we vibrate with one another to understand our real purpose? And can we be a help to one another? Can we take the time out to appreciate one another? See, if more of that was pushed, then you'll have, more of that energy and the vibration flowing. But when you got ego clashing with the spirit, and when it's not combined, it's always going to be separate. Because, see, that ego, it wrestles hard with that spirit that's in all of us that tries to do right. Even when I would, who said that in the Bible? Paul? Yes. When I would try to do right, evil is present upon me. See, that's the warning of the spirit, of that fleshly man. So just understand that it takes courage to stand up to wrongdoing. It takes courage to admit when you are wrong. When you are in positions in life to where about I need to correct, I need to change. Certain things are just free spiritually that is given to all of us. Some people are born with, the ability, they come here already seeing and understanding their purpose. Prophetically, they can tell you some things. That's why you'll hear some people talk about some things and they can prophesy. They were born with that gift. And I laugh like that because they were. They were blessed with it. But now here's the thing, if they use it the wrong way and they manipulate people with it the wrong way and they know that God gave it to them and they don't do no correction in their life, it got a way of backfiring upon them. Because the gift was meant to be to help individuals in the earthly realm. You don't need no help when you exit from out of here and when you go on to glory. You need it right here, the gift. So if individuals or my friends, if you got that prophetic gift, you got the gift, and I got to go there. Some people get into tarot cards or whatever else to hypen and to sensitize that gift. They call them psychics. You're really supposed to be helping people instead of to downgrade them and not to be gossiping about them or not to trying to seek in and to see like it's some crystal ball. Let me be nosy enough to see what's going on in their life. If you got the gift and if you're not using it to help people, then eventually it's going to work against you. And that working against you is what you don't want to happen when you know that God have blessed you with that gift. The gift is not to be pimped at all because it will be pimping you in the end. It is used to be what you call a blessing for the earthly realm. Some people get it, some people don't get it. But just like prayer is not, it's not meant to be used to prey on individuals financially. It is used to bless individuals, to bless yourself most of all, and then to bless others. Doing the work. And then, being that light as well. Sometimes, you'll get tired just because you're tired of just doing things the wrong way. Pretty soon, when you get tired of, as they say, I don't want to say sick and tired, but just tired. Because I'm not claiming sickness upon nobody. But you'll just get tired just to be saying tired. He'll say, depart. My friend said, he'll say, depart, I never knew you. That's right. Absolutely. But when you start getting tired of, the way of doing things the wrong way, something will start it. And it'll ignite in you to say, wow, God, you're giving me another chance to get this thing right. Some people have those aha moments. And they know that it's an aha moment. Because they know that they don't have too many chances now in life. Versus some individuals who's not tapped into the light, they just completely thrive off of ego. Ego everything. Ego this mine's, ego I got this, ego I got that. Ego I'm going to flaunt everything I got. Just ego, just ego driven. But now that ego drivenness, the only time, these are just my thoughts, because I've oh my goodness, I've completely experienced ego driven and still is. The only thing that make they worth valuable to them is the things that they can see the earthly realm. It's hard for them to press into God without losing the ego. It's very hard. Because what they don't understand truly, and they thinking that ego breathe into them. That ego give them breath. And some of them say, if I don't wake up, I just don't wake up. Ooh, that is just pure. You got a point there. But what they saying is that I can leave this earthly realm with my ego just how I came in with my ego. Some people you will not be able to pour into because they will drain your cup. Because they're not trying to connect up to that spirit of the man that lies and rests in them. Don't you know you can contaminate the spirit of the man? Oh, I hear somebody say, no, you can't. That's what about, as the individual says, God say he'll depart from you. Yes, that's what about you won't be able to basically contaminate God. You won't. You won't. You won't. But you can pretend that you can by being what you call with the airness, as if nothing really bothers you, and you got this and you got that with the ego. You can pretend, but that's wearing a mask. And that's where that mask is being contaminated, that we're about now the spirit of the man that is so close to you, that we're about you done pressed against that spirit of the man trying to get in, but it can't get in because it's contaminated. Because your spirit can be so engulfed with the cares of the world. And the cares of the world has nothing to do with the foundation of God. God created and he said everything. He blessed the doctors, the scientists, and anybody that got a special and profound job that maybe they're using their big ego in. And if they don't acknowledge God, God got a way of allowing that acknowledgement to be known. Every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. I ain't God. I'm just being loaded up with God's wisdom. I thank God now for teaching me to how to express myself, for being able to been given an opportunity to live in this earthly realm and still enjoying the fruit of this particular land, because I'm still living, but now being able to teach from volumes of what, possibly that I have been able to see or to experience. That's a blessing. Because see, real motivations come from doing the inward work. And real motivation, no one can really motivate you how God can. See, someone else can come and plant the seed, but then now it take the igniting of you having that power of prayer to, guess what, to emerge it with God. See, once you emerge your spirit with God, all egos just goes out. You no longer flow in ego. Even if you get caught up, you still got a way of coming back around and saying, God, forgive me. You know, this was a day for me. Oh, God, forgive me. You can been done messed up today. You can been done cuss somebody out because they tried you. God will forgive you. But at the same token, don't just keep doing it. Work on it. Work on, being, not walking around here just get happy because you done cut somebody out. Work on it. I had that cussing spirit in me. Every now and then it try to come up too. All depends on the situation and the spirit that's trying to make me go there. But I have control of what's come out of my mouth. So therefore, but I'm quick to ask God to forgive me. Therefore, when you understand that spirit of a man that's in the individual, you understand what's operating in them. It ain't that hard. The spirit of discernment can come on for anybody walk in life that is choosing to have the will of God and you're surrendering your all into God. That's one thing I will say. God will bless you with that spirit of discernment if you want it and if you need it for this journey. I think all of us need it. Even if it's not operating at the fullest level. You need to be unctioned by God to know what's right and what's wrong. You need to understand that for your life. Because when you don't understand the spirit of discernment, you just walking around with no guidance, masking, being in people's presence with a mask on. But guess what? God so loved the world. That's why in the story of the world, he gave his only begotten son. That was showing grace and mercy. Not for nobody to take it and say, well, I don't believe in Jesus. That's your business. I believe in the miracles and that Jesus did. And I believe in the foundation that he allowed all of us to recognize, those who are followers of Christ, to understand that I am God, I am Alpha and Omega. It's different stories. Like I said, different centuries done been here before us. They experience different things than what we experience on this earthly realm. And when I say different things, the technology and they had said they can think they were smart. To me, they were more brilliant than anything. But we just got new, technologies and tools, the things that we can do. We don't have to worry about, stopping to make sure the horse need water, because it ain't horse and buggy and carriage. We got cars. Now they're doing electric cars. So it's a new thing that is being done. It's just that we are just a new generation that's living in this earthly realm. God keep birthing new generation in this earthly realm, because guess what? Anytime anybody, just from my thoughts, and I hear other people say it, I don't know why they said it, but just from my thought, anytime an individual want to come to this earthly realm, whether or not you understand when you birth in your mother womb, or however you being birthed now, because they got new technology with that, what about you can have babies, but this ain't the conversation on that. But what I'm saying is that God already know your purpose before you get here. Now it's up to you to be willing to put all them challenges in front of you and give it a thought and to do some work toward the challenges. That's why everybody's journey will be completely different. It's not all what you call rosies. Everything is so perfect, perfect, perfect. No. You came in for a purpose and for a reason. I know when I found out my purpose was because I asked God, when everything, it was big back in the day, if you felt like that, dog, I got this unction to go into theology school and want to know more. Like I say, I purely went because I wanted more information that can help me for my family, my marriage, my job. It was completely for helping me to understand life. It wasn't about, it was a move of, because the things I seen, and I know I took that video down, but it was years ago. And y'all should have caught that video. I was saying there's behind the scene things that, when you experience in the schools, things that you see from leaders, it give you with your eyes looking buck like that. You be like, I ain't doing that. I ain't in it for that. For one, I already had a job. So I'm sitting in the classes already. I'm a firefighter sitting in somebody's theology class, and I'm sitting up here saying, really? But then I had a very profound teacher. He spoke the truth. But all bodies that was in there, they had a different mindset of how they was going to calculate the real meaning of how they was going to save souls, or the real meaning of what their purpose was, or what they were going to do with the degree. Now, granted, the teacher can only teach, but the teacher can't tell you, you got to do this and just like this. That's your choice. Even if he's teaching the truth, it's your soul that's going to go out there and do whatever you want to do with your degree. And now you become a pastor, a leader. Everybody wanted to be a pastor back in the day. Then they start wearing them white collars. That's just recently started happening, about 6 years ago. But everybody wanted to be a pastor. But then, once again, I was a student. Just imagine, I'm a firefighter just coming in there, and it was open doors for me to get in because, I'm saving lives. And then now I'm having the ability, because I need it in order for it basically to enhance my life and how to navigate through life, because I don't want to leave this job. I don't want to, be going on a job and knowing, I already got things that I don't understand. I'm already trying to understand life. So now when I break away from this high stress level job, I got the tools to know how to operate and to navigate. I don't know everything, but at least I have some tools. And I got tools now for my family, in order to navigate. Was I perfect in all areas trying to navigate these things and being on somebody's job, being a wife, being a mother? I had a full-blown career to whereby women weren't really accepted. It was a male-dominant job. So therefore, for me arriving to say I'm in theology class, because instead of me, I'm saying, I'm not going to sit on nobody's chair. Give me the meat. Give me the book. I did that for myself. I didn't do it because now I want to come over here and talk about, child, let me teach you the Bible. That's why I say ain't nobody pastor and I'm nobody counselor. But I got dual degree, pastor and a counselor. They call it pastoral and counselor. But it really was to help me out. And I thank God for it. But now I can't force feed what I know to anyone, period. I'm not trying to do it because it helped me out so much. But what I will say is that what it did for me is to know that the game is very, what you call monetary. For some, not for all. I respect those pastors that is really what you call in it for life changing, because it changed their life. They understand the power of prayer. They understand the power of healing. And my main core thing was that power of praying, even when I was in theology. And some of the leaders, they would look at me and say, where do you get your faith from? How do you walk through things? They study in faith. They study in the power of prayer. I say you live it. That's why I say some people are born. They are already born with gift before they get here. So, but I will encourage anyone, if you want to evolve more in prayer, I'm not going to tell you not to read other authors that write about the power of prayer and that speaks about it, because that's leverage for you. But hold fast to God, though. But what I will say is that make God your everything. Because the only thing that I can say that I took away from the theology courses was that I now see, what my teacher at the time was teaching. When he said, well, it's going to come a time that even the very elect will fall away. The times and the temptation will become so tough that whereby they will yield in. to those things that they're not supposed to be yielding into. But although we struggling with our own issues, and there were going to be what you call so many individuals that will be needing counseling because of the times and the stress level and things that will be going on in the world. The whereabout it will be necessary for individuals in order to cope, just to live on the earthly realm. Because once your spiritual eyes is awakened, they don't go back shut if you don't want them to shut. Now you can what you call do what you want to do, but you can't completely shut them because you done tapped into it. I feel like I done talked about a lot of things in this conversation. I really do at this time. Any more questions in the chat? Any more questions? We done talked about relationships, sanctification. I still feel like that need to be another topic, separate. And as well, just the power of praying. And that, prayer can't be broad. It can't. It cannot be broad. That's your own sacred time with God. If somebody got a gift and if they can really bless you by telling you the things, if you that individual, you got them itching ears and you don't always want to hear what's in your future, whatever, be careful about that. Those individuals that need to be in your life to prophesy to you, they will be in your life. But be careful about getting prophecy from any and everybody. Have the living, word and that power of prayer already in your life so that when you hear something, either you can eat it or you can't, because every prophecy is not for you. That's why I say be careful. You can't take every prophecy and apply it to you. When someone speak it, it ain't even for you. Stop being greedy like that. Quit listening and say, is this for me? Go spend some time with God to know what is for you. Then when you hear it, guess what? It makes sense. It could be for somebody else. You could just be listening to prophecy to be engaged into praying for someone. Thank you, friend. My friend said, thank you, Gigi. You have been a blessing. You know what, friends? Y'all really have been a blessing to me. And I say that is because, I didn't come for the month of what? November. No, I think I did. I don't know how much I came for Christmas, but that time was well needed for me. So I'm thankful that you all are accepting me and allowing me to be who I am. I just want to continue to come back and to talk about the power of prayer and how much it is necessary, not just for my life, but for anybody who want to embrace it. You're never counted out. You're never too late. Of course, God may be tapping us on the shoulder or maybe speaking unto us. And this is what about the prophetic realm can really be a benefit right now, those who have that gift. If you know you prophetically got the gift and God use you prophetically and you have a clean heart and a purpose, you can really be speaking into individuals' life that need that new direction, that need those things that they need. Not speaking into their life and then your plate ain't clean, period. Your gift really need fasting on it. I'm not talking about that. I wouldn't even really be able to come to you all, and I'm being honest, to talk about the power of prayer if I was not doing it. And then being honest enough to say that, listen, Gigi got her own flaws, just straight up. But now you want me to regurgitate all my flaws? Wait on it. Because you ain't getting it like that, because I ain't getting it from you all. I'm just a real vessel. But I am here to share that power of prayer, how it can change any of us. Any of us. You said it's been a couple of years back, saying since you've been on the channel. Okay, my friend said, do you still take calls? God has done miracles since the last time we spoke. Oh, please share on your miracles. Please share. You know what, friend? I do it like I would say, personally with my friends, that I know, because we somehow, however, God created that for us to where about if we get in a situation to where about we need that counseling from one another's, and believe it or not, some of them are counselors, some of them are pastors. But besides that, and the not using titles or none of that, just friendship, being in the friend zone, and some of them are not. But being in the friend zone, my friendship now, and I thank the Lord for it, in my now life is centered around the where about those phone calls basically come from those friends that, we have made that pact to say, let's encourage one another and let's keep one another uplifted. Let's call, let's check up on one another. So no, I don't have it open for saying YouTube, because that was an experience within itself. But moving forward, I want to say that God have given each and every individual the power to pray for themselves, the power to believe. That's why when you wake up in the morning, for me, before I get out of that bed, I'm thanking the Lord. I'm telling God, thank you. Anything that in the atmosphere that may want to come in me and may want to put something in me that is like, dog, let me give God some thanksgiving and praises first before I begin to think any other way. I'm reaching for God, meaning, for that life, just the flow. I'm reaching, because if I'm waking up, my ego is already alert, and that's the first thing that want to attack is ego, because ego ain't trying to get along with the spirit. It's not. That mean you will. That ego is willing to grow and drive things to the highest level possible. That's why you got to just claim that positive mindset when you wake up early in the morning. You got to claim it. Because if you don't claim it, you get me, anything else can just flow from out of it. But if you claim it, everything else that is willing to face you that day, you can kind of push through it with that prayer. But you got to believe in your prayers. I'm encouraging individuals to pray for themselves. Even if you put it in the chat about praying, I pray, just like last night, I prayed. I'm making it every effort. It was a point, like I said, it was too much heaviness on my plate to worry about, no, I don't want anyone else's energy. But now I make it a point every night, because God told me, pray for individuals. Whether or not they per YouTube or individuals just say, pray for me, just include them, pray. But as I pray, I'm not attaching myself to the energy to where about I want the energy to consume me. And that part I had to learn a lesson in, because I have a sensitive spirit, prophetic wise, to where about when you know the things that you're not supposed to know. So being sensitive that way, I had to ask God, you know what I mean, to teach me how to pray. I said that yesterday, because I was too involved in their energies and their emotions because they were heavy. But God said, you pray for them, but now it's up for them to believe. So now, the greatest thing that I've learned from God teaching me how to pray, you got to pray for yourself too when two or three come together. Or when you pick up the phone and when you call a friend and when you pouring and when you dumping that energy upon them and when you telling them about what's going on with you, you got to be willing to say, we're going to stand and we're going to agree in prayer about this situation. And now, though that your one being that connected up to that other individual, God is already hearing. He already understand. You just really touching and agreeing according to the Lord's will, what can come out of the prayer. But if you got that strong faith in prayer, when you calling somebody up, even if it's on a prayer line, you got to have that faith. Because that person got more work and energy that and if they haven't been taught how to pray, they may be being overwhelmed and now just being taken out because they're so sensitive and don't even understand that you can't take the burden of that person. Only God can do that. Friend says, speaking to you, the word choice was resounding. I fully chosen to follow him. And as I subject we spoke on, he desires me to be his purpose, me to be in the obstacles. Believing by faith. Have to believe by faith. Taking it by force. Believing by faith. It removes all doubt. Have you ever just have doubt to run through you and it grows stronger and stronger and stronger? If you don't come and put the Spirit of the Lord on that particular doubt quickly and smother it, it's going to grow, and it's going to grow in power. But God have given you power to overcome those things, those serpents and scorpions that want to attach to you. You got to believe even when your spirit, your ego can't believe. That's when you got to allow God to capitalize. Because there's power in your belief. I got words to speak, but it's power when you speak them. It's power when you believe. Don't you know you can lay down every day and you can just ask God to come into you? God, I need you now to heal me. Heal my energy, heal my body, heal my limbs, heal my blood, heal everything. I got the doctors on my side. I got the holistic individuals that is pouring into me. I'm taking the stuff that I need. But God, I need you now. I need your present energy. I need you to do what you say miracles can do. You have to be that vessel that vibrate with your own energy, but you connected up with God. Oh God, I thank you. Oh God, I thank you. See, when you become what you call merged in with God, there is nothing impossible unto God. When you become that powerhouse for yourself, nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. Miracles happen. They flow. Oh God, I thank you. And when you keep yourself clothed like that with your speaking and with your talking, that means the things that come to agitate you, you ain't going to have time for it because it has no space in your life. You have no time for those things because it takes too much space and energy in your life. So you don't have a place for it. And you should be okay with not having a place for it. My friends say, what I thought I wanted, I would have lost. Oh my God, friend. If I kept going in my flesh and ego, I couldn't see in the spirit realm all he was doing. That's what I'm talking about. You said it. He's done exceedingly abundantly more than I could think and ask or imagine. And that's it. That's it. God can do exceedingly abundantly everything that you can ask or even expect. Exceedingly. I have seen God do it over and over again in my life, in my current friend life, that how God just blessed them because they believed. They had no other resort to do no other than believe. I'm like, what you gonna do? What other resort you got? Nothing but believe. But it was a personal, what you call, moment for them to grasp and to hear what God had for them. And when they grasped it, it was like everything began to just work out in God's favor. God wants that right now faith upon all of my friends' life. Any individual that got blood running in their vessels, that is choosing to do the now work of God. He want that right now. He don't want that camouflage face. He don't want none of that. He don't want that mask wearing face. Yeah, I hear you. He don't want that. He want that showing up right now. Like, I need you right now, God. What I'm going to do? I need you. God want that. And with that being said, friends, of course, keep your notifications on. Thumbs up your video. How the friends gonna know? Go tell somebody. Let them know that Gigi have came. She have been on here, for some time, but I don't mind being on here. I appreciate the chats too that is in the chat room. I really do. I appreciate it. And when I say I appreciate it, because you are communicating back. So I appreciate it. If anybody have anything else to say, go ahead on and put it in the chat and things. Maybe we can talk, but I don't want to hold up any of my friends no more time, because believe it or not, friends, I brought me some lunch and I'm gonna still eat that lunch because I got to warm it up and everything. So I am going to go and eat what I have brought and things. And I want everybody to have a continuous great day. Continue to pray. Continue to keep God so close, and continue to know that God loves you and only you. And remember that you are that apple that do not spoil. God love you. God appreciate you. If God still got life in you and purpose filled, don't get depressed. And if you do, say, God, I need you. God, allow those intercessor prayer warriors to pray for me. God hear your prayer. He'll send it out in the atmosphere, because prayer is unlimited. Whatever you need, friends, you looking at a vessel that done tried prayer. God have heard prayer. And I got some more prayers going out to God that I'm asking God. God, hear my prayer. I know He hearing it. Because guess what? I got faith. Faith. All right, friends. Until next time, I'm signing off. Blessings and power unto you. I appreciate you. I really do, friends. Enjoy the rest of your day. Once again, keep on your notifications and things, because I would like to come back, and communicate with my friends. Not today, because I think that this is more than enough video, but possibly tomorrow. Keep your notifications on. Support your friend as she journey in this life, believing in the power of prayer, believing that God can do anything, believing that, God can forgive all of us. But I do know that all of us have to do that inward work. And it may take us, getting rid of some things, undoing some things. But you're not counted out if you got breath in you. That's the important thing. And know that God got friends that is there to enter into your life on purpose, because they understand their assignment. Now their whole life done been changed. I'm telling you, it done been changed for the good, and they know they don't really have no more chances, no other than to show up and to do what's right. You'll know them when they connect. Just let me say that. You'll know them. You will know them. All right, friends, I love you all. Okay, thank you all so much too.